Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, I threw up all over my horrible MIL. MIL wants to see baby every other week. Is it unreasonable to want longer between visits? MIL isn't speaking to us, but thinks it's crazy we expect her to schedule a time to meet her grandchild. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I threw up all over my horrible MIL. That's it. I don't even feel like I need to explain the context. It's about the feeling. I threw up all over her. I am pregnant. I was dizzy. We told her to please leave, but she decided to make a drama. In my defense, I asked her to move so I could get inside because I wasn't feeling so good. She decided to stay in my way to the entrance of my own house, and so her shoes ended up full of my vomit. That's it. I don't know. I was so embarrassed, but I got over it, lol. Oh, thanks for inadvertently brightening up my Monday. I'm sorry you felt lousy, but nice aim. She deserves it for refusing to leave when asked and then blocking you. She's lucky she didn't get hit in the face. No more visits for her. I hope you're feeling better. There wouldn't happen to be video, would there? I'm feeling much better, thank you. We were already in C with her. She doesn't even know that I'm pregnant. She came because of my husband's birthday. Oh, there is a video from the Ring camera at the door. Funny that we had to install it because of them. You can't really see all the action, but you get to understand what's happening. Just like the Spanish Inquisition, no one expects projectile vomiting. MIL wants to see baby every other week. Is it unreasonable to want longer between visits? FTM to a 13-week-old baby girl, MIL's first and only grandchild. She has been beyond excited for this child. Her and I haven't always had a good relationship, have a few other posts about it, but we both have worked on it for the sake of my husband. MIL is generally okay with some boundary stomping but takes feedback well. She's a notorious baby hog, which I've put a stop to, and she's clearly frustrated by that, but I think she knows she needs to be respectful to keep seeing baby. When we get together, everything is about the baby. She can't be bothered to talk about anything else. She'll ask me something unrelated and then interrupt me to gawk at the baby. Conversation over. She'll ask over and over until she finally gets to hold her and then won't give her back until I demand. She'll literally sit there and hold her screaming and say, "I'm fine with crying babies." Well, I'm not, and you shouldn't be okay with it either. She said she'll never offer to give baby back because she takes all the time she will get. Maybe if she offered her back and didn't baby hog, I'd be more inclined to let her hold her for long periods of time. Now, every time we get together, I get anxious that I won't get my baby back from her when I want to hold her. She never asked to see us before we had this baby, but constantly guilt-tripped my husband if he didn't make plans with her. Now she's been asking to see us every other week. She lives 20 minutes away. How often do you see your in-laws? Is it unreasonable to want to stretch the breaks from her to 3 to 4 weeks between seeing her? I have no real reason other than I don't enjoy being around her. Something about her holding my baby puts me on edge, and I feel she doesn't care about me at all. Please take a look at my other posts for more context. Some people see their in-laws a few times a week. Some see them once a year. There is no right or wrong. It needs to be what works for your situation. You can also revisit if things change. You don't have to lock yourself into a regular schedule like it's visitation. It doesn't matter what other people think. It's your life. If you don't want to give her unsupervised visits with your baby, that's fine. Your baby is 13 weeks. Your baby doesn't need to hang out with anyone else. And if you feel like once every other week is too much, then it's too much. Mine comes every 2 to 4 months and I can tolerate it. Do what you're comfortable with. You're a new mom to a new baby, and it's okay to say no to Mil wants or Mil needs to want your baby. Mil didn't give birth, and it's not her do-over baby, it's your baby. Visiting every 4 to 6 weeks or 1 month is enough, as you don't need to deal with unnecessary stress and anxiety. Your baby, your choice of when and what goes on. If she is only 20 minutes away, I'd be tempted to visit her instead. That way, you get to control how long you stay and how often you go. Tell her you will visit for an hour on Wednesday or half an hour on Friday. And if she refuses to give the baby back, you tell her to give the baby back immediately, and then you and your husband leave with the baby. Tell her you will stay a little longer next time if she gives the baby back when asked first time. You have to train her. If she keeps overstepping, then you are busy the next day she wants a visit. Emile isn't speaking to us, but thinks it's crazy we expect her to schedule a time to meet her grandchild. Up with a newborn, so I expect this to be jumbled at times. In the fall, my husband and I told his folks that we were expecting our first kid. We're both only children and I do not have a relationship with my mother, so originally I'd hoped my in-laws and I could really get along despite some past tension. My husband and I have been together 10 years this winter, so there's a ton of history here I'm not going to recount. After we told them the news, it started off with them only talking to my husband about the baby. Asking her name, we didn't want to tell anyone until she was born. Telling him they wanted to be in the waiting room while I was delivering. I didn't want visitors right away because I wanted my husband and I to be able to just bond with our child, and so on. She only had one conversation with me directly, which was in the middle of my second trimester, and the most I remember about it was the fact she felt the need to go on about watching my diet if I planned on breastfeeding. A month or so later, my husband had a bit of a falling out with them over something trivial. Let's be real, it wasn't over that one thing, but all the things they've decided to be mad about, and that one thing was the excuse, and his relationship with them deteriorated quickly. Aside from the necessity of getting personal items to the right property, there's been no in-person contact, and all other contact was done through email. I haven't spoken to them since Thanksgiving, where I left actually sobbing it was so rough, plus pregnancy hormones, and he hasn't had a good interaction with them in almost as long. We did invite them to our baby shower, and while they sent a gift, they did not attend. We invited them because we wanted to make an effort to keep them included in hopes things would settle before the baby arrived. Recently, I gave birth to our baby via cesarean. The cesarean only solidified me not wanting visitors, including my family. So naturally, who tried to walk in unannounced after months of no contact but my in-laws. Husband let them know she was born. They didn't say anything back, just showed up. They were stopped by security, I guess, but tried to call us to be let in and were offended to hear that we didn't want visitors. To quote them, "We're not visitors, we're the grandparents." The entitlement has me mind blown. We came home and I got my 2 weeks, just me and baby, and then we started reaching out to family about meeting the little one. My Emile is apparently incredibly offended she wasn't able to visit at the hospital and that she has to schedule a time with us to even meet her grandchild despite all the drama of the past 5 to 6 months. She didn't even text us back. We heard this from her mother. I knew I should expect some drama, but I'm actually so baffled that she's willing to just not meet her grandchild because it can't be done on her terms, and our availability means meeting the grandkid would disrupt her usual weekend activities. I know I shouldn't be, my therapist isn't, but I cannot imagine acting like this, and my child isn't even a month old. How lucky do you feel that she doesn't want to talk to you? What a blessing. Keep your boundaries firm. She is being crazy and way too entitled. Back off, Emile. Stop pursuing her. She wants to play games. Drop the rope and don't play. Enforce the strictest of boundaries. Short visits, all supervised. Visits once or twice a year, on your terms. They are entitled, and you can't fathom their line of thinking because you know they are wrong and toxic. They, on the other hand, think they have always been perfectly reasonable and you two are the ones acting out, so they don't think they have to pass any check with you before meeting the grandbaby, especially since they are the grandparents and everything baby-related is a guarantee to them. Stop reaching out. They now know your rules. If they want to meet the baby, it will be following those rules. If they don't want to respect them and they're playing games and power play, then they will be fine without meeting her. They expect you to chase them, and that will only fuel their bad behavior. Pull the rug from them. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.